Let me ask you something real. Have you done everything the manifestation gurus say to do? You got clear on what you want, you visualized it, you wrote your affirmations, you tried to stay positive, you even believed, really believed, that the universe would deliver, but nothing happened. Or worse, things got worse. You felt anxious, disappointed, like you were doing something wrong. You started to wonder, is something broken in me? If that's you, I want to tell you something important. You're not broken, you're just misunderstanding what belief really is. Because the real problem isn't your mindset, it's that the quality of your belief isn't embodied. And that misunderstanding is the real reason manifestation isn't working. If you want to find out more about this, stick around. Hi, I'm Jose de Castro, and I'm a psycho-spiritual coach who helps spiritual entrepreneurs get unstuck by helping them to reconnect to their true, authentic selves so that they can build soul-aligned lives and businesses. In this video, I'm going to share the one piece of manifestation advice that almost no one talks about, but without it, nothing really works. It's not glamorous, it's not repeating affirmations or staying in a high vibe state all the time. It's about learning how to reconnect with the part of yourself that's been left out of the manifestation conversation altogether, your emotional body. And I'm not speaking from a pedestal. I had to learn this. I had to fall apart, and what I discovered on the other side changed everything. When I quit my job, I felt this deep soul level calling. I believed in the law of attraction. I believed what Paulo Coelho said in The Alchemist. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And in some ways, that is true. But I hit a wall I didn't see coming. At first, I felt momentum, hope, excitement. But when the money didn't come, when opportunities didn't align, that excitement slowly turned to fear. But here's the part I didn't realize. I didn't even recognize it as fear. My mind immediately created a story about it. Why I was right to feel this way, why things were going wrong. Instead of simply feeling the fear, I justified it. I escaped into thinking. Instead of letting the emotion move through me, like many on the spiritual path, especially men, I was disconnected from my emotions. I could talk about feelings, I could analyze them, but I didn't know how to actually feel them. When things didn't go my way, I didn't feel sadness or grief. I went straight into my head. What's wrong with me? Why does this work for other people but not for me? Maybe I just need to believe harder. And that last one, believe harder, is the exact trap that keeps us stuck. We've been taught that belief is something you do in your mind. That if you just convince yourself, that's enough. But that's not how real manifestation works. Real belief isn't mental, it's embodied. Belief is a state of being. It's the natural frequency that emerges when the emotional blocks, trauma, fear, contraction, are allowed to move and leave the body. You can think all the positive thoughts you want. You can say, I believe I'm abundant. But if there's fear in your gut, tension in your chest, shame living in your body, then you don't truly believe. Not in the way that actually shifts your reality. So I practice a form of deep spiritual breath work and meditation regularly. Techniques involving spinal breathing and inner stillness that I've been working on for some time now. For a long time, I didn't notice anything in particular, but after some time, something began to happen. Slowly at first, then intensely. The breathwork started pulling up emotions I didn't even know were buried. Tsunamis of grief, fear, and sadness rose up like waves I'd held back for years. It was not poetic. It was primal. My body was doing the feeling my mind had avoided for decades. There were times I shook uncontrollably, times I cried for reasons I couldn't explain. I felt like a deep emotional detox, like my system was finally taking out the emotional trash. And afterward, something shifted. In the moments of calm after the emotional storm, I wasn't as reactive. The triggers didn't land the same way. There was space, there was calm. But here's what really shocked me. Belief began to emerge. Not because I repeated it, not because I forced it, but because I had cleared the emotional static that had been blocking it. It wasn't mental, it was visceral, a deep, stable knowing, a quiet confidence that lived in my body. That's when I finally got it. Belief is not something you think. Belief is what remains when repressed fear and negative emotions that have been pent up are finally able to be released. Here's the paradox most people run into with manifestation. If you need belief in order to see results, but you don't yet see the results, fear starts to creep in. And that fear affects your belief. So now you're trying to believe without evidence. You're trying to have faith without reinforcement. And that creates a feedback loop. The more you don't see results, the more doubt grows. And the more doubt grows, the more you try to suppress it by mentally convincing yourself to believe. We end up trying to shout over the part of us that's afraid. We tell it to shut up. We say, just believe harder. But that's not alignment. That's resistance. You don't create belief through willpower alone. You create space for it by letting go of resistance. The more fear weight you carry, the more belief stays stuck in the head. But once you release those blocks, once you feel and let go of what's stored inside, belief doesn't need to be constructed. It simply shines through, like the sun behind the clouds. So how exactly do you let go of this resistance? It begins by seeing fear and doubt not as signs that something is wrong, but as signals that old repressed emotion is rising to be released. Instead of interpreting fear as proof that your manifestation isn't working, see it as an invitation to release what's been holding you back. Don't get carried away by the mental story. Don't believe the voice that says it's not working. Instead, hone in on the literal physical sensation of fear in your body. And here is the deceptively simple part. Just let it be there. No explaining, no resisting, no trying to fix it. Just give it your full attention and allow it to exist exactly as it is. That's how release begins, through quiet, compassionate presence. In this simple act of acceptance and presence, because you're not resisting it, the emotion can finally do what it wants to do. Be felt and be released. Just remember, emotion or emotion is energy in motion. It wants to move. It wants to pass through you. When we get lost in the story, when we start mentally interpreting, fixing, or judging, we're actually holding on to the emotion rather than letting it leave. And here's where something almost magical begins to happen. The next time you're in a similar situation, something that would have rattled you before, you'll notice you're not as triggered. Why? Because there's simply less pent-up fear in your system. Each time you allow emotion to fully move through you without resistance, you're clearing old energy, and that creates more space for calm, clarity, and trust to naturally arise. Maybe you're hearing this and thinking, but I don't feel anything. I just get lost in my thoughts. I hear you. That was me too. Years of dissociation, living from the neck up, especially as men we're taught to repress. But healing doesn't start big. It starts small. Next time you're triggered, don't try to fix it. Don't reach for a better thought. Just ask, is there any sensation in my body? Even the tiniest flicker. Can I sit with it just as it is without trying to change it? Presence is the medicine, not perfection, not forcing, just presence. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering the blocks that are keeping you out of alignment. Your true frequency is already high. You don't have to manufacture it. You just have to stop clinging to what pulls you down. Each time you release stored emotion, your system clears. And as that happens, you naturally rise, not because you're pretending, but because that's who you really are underneath the noise. So if you've been trying to manifest from your head, trying to believe your way into abundance, but something still feels off, maybe the next step isn't thinking better thoughts. Maybe it's feeling the truth that's already inside you. Belief isn't a mental trick. It's the natural state that emerges when your body no longer needs to protect you from the past. Belief isn't something you do. It's something you become. Hey friend, if this message resonated and you want support reconnecting with your emotional body, I invite you to book a free 15-minute discovery call with me. The link is in the description below. I'm here to help you clear the path so that your true frequency can shine through and so that your manifestations in your business and in entrepreneurship can finally become real. And remember, you're not broken. You're just carrying things you're finally ready to release. Click here for another video. Click here for a playlist that you might find helpful and subscribe for more conversations like this. See you in the next video.